Good day, friends. I'm Carrie Dillinger. This is Bible Class Topics. We're reading through from chapter 1 to chapter 66, the book of Isaiah, who we've called the Dean of God's Prophets. And we've made it to chapter 61. It's part 6 of our study, The Future Glory God has Promised for His People, the New Zion. This will take us out through the end of the book. And today, chapter 61, Glorious Zion, part 2. We're in the section Future Glory of a Restored Zion, which will carry us through chapter 62. But today, chapter 61, let's get our Bibles out and be prepared to read together. I'll be reading from the ESV. The servant's mission, the purpose of his mission, the effect of his mission, the mission and blessing of the redeemed, Zion's burst of praise, and that will take us through the end of this chapter, only 11 verses. Let's read it, and then we'll have some comments. The Spirit of the Lord God is upon me, because the Lord has anointed me to bring good news to the poor. He has sent me to bind up the brokenhearted, to proclaim liberty to the captives, and opening of the prisons to those who are bound, to proclaim the year of the Lord's favor and the day of vengeance of our God, to comfort all who mourn, to grant those who mourn in Zion, to give them a beautiful headdress instead of ashes, the oil of gladness instead of mourning, the garments of praise instead of a faint spirit, that they may be called oaks of righteousness, the planting of the Lord, that he may be glorified. They shall build up the ancient ruins, they shall raise up the former devastations, they shall repair the ruined cities, the devastations of many generations. Strangers shall stand and tend your flocks, foreigners shall be your plowmen and vine dressers. But you shall be called the priests of the Lord. They shall speak of you as ministers of our God. You shall eat the wealth of the nations, and in their glory you shall boast. Instead of your shame there shall be a double portion. Instead of dishonor, they shall rejoice in their lot. Therefore in their land they shall possess a double portion. They shall have everlasting joy. For I, the Lord, love justice. I hate robbery and wrong. I will faithfully give them their recompense, and I will make an everlasting covenant with them. Their offspring shall be known among the nations, and their descendants in the midst of the peoples. All who see them shall acknowledge them, that they are the offspring the Lord has blessed. I will greatly rejoice in the Lord. My soul shall exult in my God, for he hath clothed me with the garments of salvation. He has covered me with the robe of righteousness, as a bridegroom decks himself like a priest with a beautiful headdress, and as a bride adorns herself with her jewels. For as the earth brings forth its sprouts, and as a garden causes what is sown in it to sprout up, so the Lord God will cause righteousness and praise to spout up, and I should have said sprout up, before all the nations. The Lord God will cause righteousness and praise to sprout up before all the nations. In this chapter, the servant is the speaker. Through him, Jehovah will bring inner beauty to his glorious city, so says Homer Haley in his commentary on the book of Isaiah. And now we note the purpose of his mission. Verse 1, as to the identity of the speaker, here, see Luke 4, verse 16 through 21 to confirm that it is indeed Jesus Christ. The speaker declares that the Spirit of the Lord is upon him. See Acts 10:38. The speaker will bring the good news of victory and blessings to the humble, lowly, and gentle, namely those that are disposed to hear. He will, 1, bind up the brokenhearted, 2, proclaim liberty to the captives, 3, announce the opening of the prison to them that are bound. While the return from exile foreshadowed the servant's work, the true fulfillment of this prophecy would be in him. Besides the three things mentioned in verse 1, in verse 2 we hear a fourth thing. He will loudly proclaim the year of Jehovah's favor and the day of vengeance. The use of the words year and day are probably just general expressions of time. The vengeance will come upon whoever or whatever holds God's people in prison, and the fifth thing he will do, he will comfort all that mourn. The consolation for these mourners is that there is life after death in the servant. The ashes on the heads of the mourners will be replaced by a headpiece of beauty. They will additionally be given the oil of joy. I'm pointing out Psalm 45, Ecclesiastes 9, and Song of Solomon, chapter 4. And they'll be clothed in a garment of praise. They will be called trees of righteousness because of their sturdiness, endurance, beauty, and fruitfulness. See similar language in Jeremiah's prophecy, chapter 17, verse 7 and 8. Moving forward, we see the effect of his mission, the mission and blessing of the redeemed, and Zion's burst of praise to take us out to the end of the chapter. Those blessed by the work of the servant have three jobs to accomplish, according to verse 4. Build up the old wastes, raise up the former desolations, and repair the waste cities. The new Zion cannot be contained within the boundaries of old Zion. There will be and must be worldwide expansion. The new Zion will not be built by just the Jewish remnant, but they will work side by side with the Gentiles. There will be no distinction in New Zion between Jew and Gentile, as each citizen of the new order will be a priest. While the world will provide for the material needs of humanity, it is up to the saints to provide for the spiritual needs of their fellow man. True glory actually belongs to the redeemed, not the nations. In this fact, the saints can boast. Taking the place of shame and dishonor is everlasting joy, which includes a share of the inheritance of the land of God's spiritual blessings, namely God's holy mountain. Jehovah's actions are controlled by his love of justice and his hatred of robbery. Here, robbery represents any iniquity. His nature demands that he destroy his enemies and reward the righteous. The godly will be a peculiar people who can be recognized wherever they go by their righteousness, joy, and peace. We close out now with verse 10 and 11, Zion's burst of praise. Now Zion herself breaks forth in a song of praise. The filthy rags that she has been forced to wear due to the unrighteousness of her people will be replaced by the finery of wedding garments. Jehovah's work in Zion will be achieved through the servant. He will cause righteousness and praise to spring forth before all the nations. Jehovah will anoint the servant with his spirit, redeem and glorify Zion, establish an everlasting covenant, and make his people known among the nations. And that brings us to the end of chapter 61. We hope to be back in just a day or two and finish up this section by reading together and talking about chapter 62. Thank you for studying with me. Come back anytime here at Bible Class Topics. You are always welcome. Let's keep each other in our prayers, and may God bless us all.